When I first saw Bodhi, my heart sank. He's 9 months old. He was kept in isolation in a dark stall, tied to a wall for 4 months. He was so scared. He struggled to walk. And his owner was going to sell him to the meat trade. He's awful and doesn't take care of his horses. When I saw the conditions of these horses, I broke down crying. I needed to do everything I could to get him out of there. I sent all of these awful pictures and videos to the horse rescue, and they were not very helpful. They can't do anything. They said that if I wanted to help the horses, that I should just buy them. So I thought, like, why not? At least if I can save one, then that's what I'm gonna do. It was really difficult to get him in the trailer because he was just in such shock. Something about his energy just pulled me towards him. He was so timid, he was so scared. He hadn't seen the light, and then all of a sudden he's supposed to walk into the darkness again. It took some time and coaxing, but he went in. When Bodhi arrived, we actually struggled to get him out of the trailer. He didn't know how to back up. It was awful. As I tried to walk him to the stall, he tripped multiple times. It was so sad to see a horse that was a yearling that was 9 months old that didn't know how to walk. Once he got in the stall, he was basically frozen. He was so terrified of people, especially hands. He was just in such shock that he wouldn't even eat anything. So most of my work in the beginning was just being near him and creating some positive associations. And then I had to work on being able to touch his face so that a vet could finally come and touch him, and that a farrier could finally come and do his hooves.
He's getting a lot better. His hooves are a lot better. We're getting there.
Once we built that trust, actually, honestly, everything else just started falling into place. And after just maybe 6 months even, I started to see him blossom. I believe Bodhi started to trust me because I showed him that I was willing to wait, and that I showed him that I respected his boundaries. I showed him that, okay, you had your trauma, your experiences, and I don't want to overwhelm you. I want to sit and wait and show you that you can make the decision to come to me. When I saw how much he was developing, I was like, this is him. Bodhi's condition, emotionally, mentally, physically, everything transformed. Bodhi started following me. And every time I called him, he would come back to me. And he would have his head over me. Maybe I would scratch his chest. And it was the most special, amazing feeling. I started seeing like little bursts of zoomies. He started rearing up a little bit or hopping around and making these little noises. He had so much energy. He'd always be running around. It was so silly. He had the happiness of Gandhi or something. He was just glowing. And it made me smile every time because he was just so happy to be breathing and moving and interacting and being a horse. You would never know that he came from an awful place Bodhi started meeting like Brilliant and Suavna and all of my other horses, he just wanted their companionship so bad, and he just stood there and took it until they realized he's not going anywhere and he's actually kind of cool. And they started getting along and running around together. Once Brilliant and Bodhi started playing around and they were comfortable, I wanted to start introducing them to more members of the herd. So the next horse that I thought would fit well with them was Lulu. She's very clingy, and literally within maybe 30 seconds, she started defending Bodhi from his somewhat aggressive and rough playing friend. And she acted like his mother. She had never had a foal before. It was somehow like her instincts came on. She decided that Brilliant was being too rough with the little foal, and so she didn't accept that. But I feel like Brilliant helped Bodhi a lot, and Bodhi actually helped Brilliant. Like, they both grew together and both healed together. They kind of like experimented on each other as well, because they never had experience being social. So they learned together and developed this like brotherhood, which was really beautiful to see. Bodhi and Brilliant became really quite inseparable. After owning Bodhi for about 2 years, in winter, he started to colic. I actually had multiple vets out, and we did try to save him, but unfortunately, he passed away. The most special thing about Bodhi is his resilience. He impacted my life in such an amazing way. Bodhi's journey inspired me to rescue horses. Looking back, I would describe his life as all-encompassing. He experienced hardship, trauma, pain, but because of that deep pain, I feel like he was also able to truly embody happiness, joy, light. And I am so happy and grateful that I was able to make that last part of his life just beautiful.